And welcome back to the Open Mic Broadcast Network. We have with us on the line offensive coordinator for the Prairie View A&M University Panthers, none other than Coach Mark Frederick. Coach, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing well, How about you, Dr. Prince?
Well, you know what? I'm doing a lot better, man. What a game, brother. What a game. Went down to the wire. Some good things and some not so good things that happened. But let's get your perspective on how things unfolded on Saturday.
Man, it's great to be on the winning side of that battle, but definitely was a battle, hard-fought battle. Always a tough game when we go there and play Alcorn State. We have came up short several times. We finally then broke through that huddle, got over that hump. So I was proud of my kids. I'm pretty sure you'll hear from all of the coaches. We were proud of the way the kids fought through adversity, the ups, the downs, and we kept chipping away, and we put ourselves in position. Didn't want it to be that close, but, hey, I'd rather win it than not to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was almost a reflection of the game last season at home that went into overtime. And while you guys were setting this up, we'll refer back to it in just a moment. But as you were unwinding and driving, how did you feel about the chances of, man, we're going to pull this thing out or it's going to end up going into overtime?
Nah, when we got the ball back with a little bit under 4 minutes, I think, it was time to go to work. The offense was ready. We had got them together on the sideline. I talked to Trezon on the headset, and we had a plan, and we knew what we could do, and the plan was to go score. It wasn't to get in field goal position. And we got down there and shot ourselves in the foot. We had a couple of penalties, so at that point it kind of changed to, hey, what's the range of my kicker? I knew what he was good from, and we got it in position, and, they came through for us. So try not to do that, type of thing, shooting yourself in the foot with crazy penalties, but it happens, and we still fought through it and got the victory.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Coach, we got two kickers on the roster, and Villa Gomez is determined the distance kicker.
Villa Gomez is the starting kicker. Both of the kickers have been dealing with some little nagging injuries, man. And right now, Gigi, as we call him, Guillermo, he's the kind of distant kicker. So got a stronger leg right now. Like I say, we got, both of those guys have been dealing with some nagging injuries during the year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, however it was poetic justice, understanding your personnel, and getting yourself in position in spite of some hiccups that could have really created some chaotic scenes. Now, let's talk about this last 4 minutes, Coach. You get the ball, you drive, you got 13 unanswered points. The defense, which played outstanding, they had that one play, but to stop them 4 out of 5 drives in that second half just speaks volumes on its own. As you say, you gather the guys around and say, hey, man, let's go to work, put your lunch hats on, and let's get this thing done. What were you seeing that was working for you in that drive that allowed you guys to execute down the field?
Well, I told you before the season that we was returning 9 out of 10 guys that played up front. And I think we got 2, 3, 4 great running backs. You know what I'm saying? So we had kind of leaned on them a little bit the drive before, and we got some good yards. And I told the O-line that I needed them, and we was going to come back to them, and we trusted them, and they opened up some holes, and we were able to get some good runs off. And then Trezon played very well. He was efficient in the game. He made some throws, made some plays, and he came back on that drive and made some plays as well. So everything worked out. We didn't see nothing specifically. We just stuck to the game plan, and it worked out for us.
Well, one thing that I'm noticing, Coach, is that you guys are very patient not to abort the scheme and the plan when things don't appear to be going your way at the start, and that patience paid off in this case.
Right. We practice. We do things all week, and it don't make sense to get to the game and just throw it away to say, hey, oh, this ain't worked this time, let's not do it again. So we try to harp on the little things, keep them guys playing hard, playing consistently, and trust in the scheme. And once you trust in the scheme, everything else pretty much falls in place.
Right. Well, when I'm thinking about the fan that's sitting in the stand, and they say, well, they keep doing this, that, and the other, but that's part of the trust in the scheme and working your way back into position, even if you seem to be trailing, or in a case of the game seems to be out of hand, you still got to work on the things that's going to be the identity of your program, right?
Yep, and the identity of our program right now is our offensive line. I think Alcorn was like 1 or 2 in the conference in sacks. We didn't give up no sacks. So that's a compliment to them. We had right at 200 yards rushing. I know the stats were very off, but we had right at 200 yards rushing. That was huge for us because in the second half, we controlled the clock. We controlled the time of possession, and I think that helped keep our defense fresh, and we kind of came up big when we needed to.
Yes, sir. Well, I tell you what, in that second half, and what I appreciate about you guys in our conversations, that we have the ability to be candid and speak up front, because we're here for promoting. We're allies. I tell you guys all the time, I'm an ally. But that second half of play, I think, was the most complimentary play that I've seen since Bubba and his staff has been together, because the offense did its thing and the defense did its thing, and it was sealed off with an outstanding special teams play to win the game.
Definitely. You try to play complimentary football. I know this day and time everybody want to be no huddle, run up and down the field, but at some point you got to take control over the game, and if you can help your defense, me being on the offensive side, by keeping them guys on the sideline, letting them make adjustments and catch a breather, put a good drive together, that helps. That get them fresh. They can come back out and play faster. And the offense, we want the ball. And, yeah, we want to score every time we get the ball, but, sometimes that don't happen. But if you can chew up 4-5 minutes of the clock and flip the field position, that's huge too. So, we trying to do things of that nature to help our defense. And, of course, we want to win the game.
Yes, sir. No doubt about it. Now, how do you feel about your third down efficiencies from this week's performance?
We were 4 out of 10. I know the stats said, I think 1 out of 10 or 2 out of 10. Something like that.
They were trying to pencil whip you, Coach.
Yeah, we were 4 out of 10. We had a couple of drops, and then we shot ourselves in the foot. We was 3rd and short and got a couple of penalties and backed us up. So anytime you can convert on 3rd down, that helps, man. That keeps drives alive. And, we work on it in practice. We do 3rd down on Wednesday. So it'll be a big emphasis this Wednesday. Hey, man, let's not make it harder than what it already is. Let's play ball, let's lock in, and let's get this thing right.
No doubt about it. Now, of course, you'll be in Dallas this week, and we spoke with Coach Bubba earlier, and I know the focus is somewhat of a short week because of all the extracurriculars that go on with it and then the travel that's involved. What are you seeing that is going to be, let's say, like an inside track for your offense as you face up against this Grambling defense this week?
Man, it's always a battle. I know Coach Thornton real well, the defensive coordinator. He's going to have his guys ready to play, so it's going to be a battle. But we can't get caught up into all of the package. That's for the fans. Our job is to go 1-0 this week. Win the day, go 1-0. We're not looking ahead. We're not looking past nothing. So let's do what we're supposed to do. Let the fans enjoy the fire and the game from the stands, and we got to put in the work on the field.
No doubt about it. Well, Coach, it's time for you to select your offensive player of the week and let us know why.
I had a couple of things going. Me and Coach Bubba talked about it. At first, I told him the whole O-line, and he was like, all of it? I said, yeah, they didn't give up a sack, and we had right at 200 yards rushing. So that was a huge deal for us. And then, I know Jenkins played well. I know Spiller caught a touchdown. I know all of those good things. But, man, I was most excited with Kobe Cavill. He came. He'd been battling a few injuries. He kind of got back healthy, and he made 2 crucial catches for us. 2 crucial catches.
Yes,
and
both of them were on third downs, too, wasn't it, Coach?
Yeah, I gave him the nod in the offensive meeting room when we met yesterday. I gave it to him. So
Okay, very good. Well, look, Coach, doesn't matter how it gets done as long as they get done, right? And we congratulate you again on a well-fought victory in hostile territory. Now you got to keep them traveling shoes on, man, and head toward, as they say, the big star of Dallas, Texas, man, and take care of business again.
Yep.
All right.
Go and try to handle business this week, man. Try to go 1-0. That's the goal.
All right, Coach Frederick, offensive coordinator for the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. We're going to try to see if we can get in contact with the Rock himself, Coach FOSSELMAN. So we'll pause for the calls, and we'll be right back with more here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Prairie View Athletic Club has been serving and supporting student athletes since 1986. This group of volunteers believe in supporting and the motto that Prairie View produces productive people. For more information on how you can become part of this winning team, simply dial 936-857-5817. Every time you support the Prairie View Athletic Club, you are supporting Prairie View Athletics, and it is also tax deductible. So once again, for more information on how to become a member of the Prairie View Athletic Club, simply dial 936-857-5817. Who you rooting for? PVU.
And welcome back to the Open Mic Broadcast Network. As promised, we have tracked him down. He still had the defensive bloodhounds out, but we have caught up with defensive coordinator for the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. That is none other than the Rock himself, Alvin FOSSELMAN. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Trying to get these guys ready for this upcoming ball game.
Yes, sir. I know you're getting them focused, but let me tip my hat, man. I know you and I have an inside appreciation joke. We know Frederick and their guys, they do their things. But that defense, man, played lights out on Saturday, man. Congratulations on a well-planned scheme and executed scheme and getting the job done.
Yes, sir. No doubt, man. Well, credit to the guys. They executed the scheme to perfection, all but for a few that we talked about already. But, man, they were lights out.
Yes, sir. But now, I know we're going to get on the good, but you could have choked somebody when that 50-yard pass play went off in the break. Can you explain what happened at that particular time, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a deal where we were surprised about anything, or they gave us something that we hadn't seen. We missed tackles, and as a defensive coordinator, man, that's something that you don't ever want to see. That just miss a bunch of tackles like that and let a guy escape free for a touchdown, especially during that moment.
Well, but to make up for it, now you had 5 defensive opportunities on that second half alone, and you were 4 out of 5, which is passing on anybody's scale, whether you curve it or not. That's passing. When you look at the overall execution, you said they perfect the scheme as designed. What were some of the little integral things that average fan might not see or notice that helped everything come together on Saturday?
You know what? The whole purpose was to make sure, again, that we were accountable for the things that we had to get done. Everybody doing their 111 of the job. First and foremost, game plan wise, it was to stop them from running the football, actually force them to throw more than what they would like to do. That was the whole aspect of what we was trying to get out of Saturday.
Okay, now anytime you hold a team to under 100 yards rushing, they got 97, but it's still under 100. You got to be pleased with that, because coming into this game, that was something that both teams wanted to establish, is that run game, because that's just part of the signature of the two teams.
Yeah, I mean, and then man, it's all about the trench game, right? It's all about winning and losing most of the time. It's going to come down to the trenches and, how well you run the ball, how well you defend it. That was our mindset. We understood that they had a good rushing offense down there. They had their guys prepared and ready to play. So we had to maximize our effort, man, to make sure we did our absolute best to stop that run.
Yes, sir. Now, you coming with this big win. You came off 2 losses outside of conference. plan up to a degree. What did you learn from your team defensively coming into this game, and how did you feel as far as the measurements would go when you were faced up against the Braves?
Yeah, I mean, we use those early games as tune-up games as well, you know, to see what we got, to see what we really have, to see which players that we really can depend on in certain situations. I think, you know, throughout that process of those out-of-conference games, you know, we figured out who are the guys on our defense that we really can depend on and that could make plays for us, man, and do that for us consistently. You know, that's what we use those 2 games out of conference for, man. Even the performances, I still feel that we should have performed better, but we didn't. We got to let that go and move on, you know, get into conference play and try to be as good as we can be in conference play.
Yes, sir. Well, the first test, well, actually the second test because the Labor Day Classic, but that seems so far removed now. But this game here goes down to the wire. Now you're getting ready for a Grambling team who took care of Texas Southern this past weekend, and their offense is lighting it up here of late. What are you seeing some things that they like to try to do on the offensive side of the ball?
Some of the same things we just faced. They like to try to establish the run from what I'm seeing, you know, right now. So far they got two really good backs that can run the football. They got a signal caller that does a pretty good job, you know, managing the offense and, you know, directing their offense, so to speak. They play, I would like to say, some pro style stuff with, you know, tight ends and H backs, and then but sometimes they also can spread it out and try to push the ball vertical as well. So we faced with a little different test this weekend because we're gonna get different variations of offenses that's gonna be ran at us.
Okay, and so with that, that rotation of those guys up front is going to play a critical role. Have you pretty much got it down to a system of who works best together?
Oh yes, no doubt. I mean that's what those early games are for, man. We're rotating about 8 to 9 guys on the defensive front right now, and that's something that we have not had since I've been here as far as the depth. And I really think that depth is making a difference on our defense because now we can keep guys fresh, and when those crucial moments come, our guys are ready to go because they haven't been worn out through the process of the whole game.
Absolutely. Now, it's time for us to have you make a difficult choice, man, and who are you going to dub as your defensive player of the week and why?
Well, it's 2 guys I want to highlight. The first guy I want to highlight is Keyshawn Johnson, man. He finished the night with 13 tackles. Anytime you got a linebacker that anybody on defense that finished with double-digit tackles, you know, you gotta highlight those guys. But the guy that anchored our defense on Saturday was Derek Ray. Man, Derek Ray had a phenomenal game. He was physical. He was active. He got to the football, knocked the quarterback off the pivot a couple of times. I mean, he was everywhere. Derek Ray. Derek
Ray. Now, look, you speak about Johnson. They were doing a lot of chipping and almost some illegal block attempts. I don't want to call nobody out, but he was pretty animated on Saturday behind those things, too, and deservedly so.
Yeah, you know, it was certain things that happened through the course of the game that kind of had our guys upset, and you know, the whole deal was, man, look, just play through it. It's not nothing that, you know, we didn't already discuss or talk about. Just keep playing. You know, just keep playing.
Okay. Well, Coach, look, keep playing they did, and keep playing they shall do as you face up against the Grambling State Tigers on this weekend from the State Fair Classic in Dallas, Texas. I want to thank you so much again, my friend, for joining in with us. And you know we got to give you some closing thoughts. Why? Because it's D-side, baby. It's about that D-side. I know they say it's offense, defense, special team, but we know the real deal, don't we, Coach?
Yes, sir. Defense win championship.
All right, Coach FOSSELMAN of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers defensive coordinator, getting things ready for this weekend from Dallas, Texas. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Don't forget, you can listen live right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network from start to finish. And as they say on the Hill, who you rooting for? PVU. And until the next time, you guys be blessed. We'll see you on the other side.